What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So, your man, Triple T, smokes Ramirez. I can't lie though, when they said 12, 112, 114, I thought, oh, here we go. I had a goofy feeling in me, but fair play to the judges. They did their job. However, listen, you man know that up until this point, Triple T was my man. Obviously, I'm really happy for him doing his thing, but I can't lie to you, man. Listen, he don't look the same fighter to me that he was under McGuigan. Under McGuigan, he had this certain aura about him. Look at all the people he ran through. He ran through O'Hara Davis. He had that aggressive. He ran through Prograis. Obviously, Prograis fought back, but you know what I mean. He was looking for smoke. He was warrior time against them people. Obviously, he moved on now to Ben Davidson, and I can see it already. I can see Ben Davidson's scary looking ass style seeping into him, and I can see the McGuigan fading. I hate to break it to you, it's the truth. That Don Ramirez should have been knocked out tonight, no doubt. A good trainer, McGuigan would have told Taylor, get him out of there. The same way McGuigan told Okoli he's ready to go. And it's not like we've seen JT go in there, yeah, and not get a knockdown. Every time JT touched my man Ramirez, he was hitting a stanky. He was hitting a nene. He was iced out. That Don, 2 knockdowns in round 6 and round 7. How is it going 12 rounds? The last 2 rounds, Ben Davison telling him, oh yeah, just box, just box. What is that? Exactly the same thing happened in the Wilder fight, the first one. Just box, just box. What is that attitude? Get him out of there. That's what greatness is. Greatness isn't, oh, let's just survive and get the belts. The reason Ben wants that to happen is because he hasn't earned the belts. This win tonight was McGuigan and JT. It wasn't Ben. Ben's not Ben ain't never had no champion. He never made no champion. Ben takes champions and makes them worse. He took Tyson Fury and made him worse. Then he got knocked out. He's taken Josh Taylor and yeah, he still won, but I'm saying it weren't the same. Ramirez would have been finished tonight. And look at, JT said it himself. I'm stopping him. But the problem is, it weren't lining up. His trainer don't know what he's doing. Ben Davidson, and I hate to be negative. I'm really happy for JT, yeah, but I'm calling a spade a spade. This wasn't the performance we should have seen. I never really rated Ramirez, to be fair. I don't really rate him at all, but the fact that he got 2 knockdowns, that says it all. With more pressure, JT spent most of the night on the back foot. Since when has he done that? Don't get me wrong, he's a great boxer as well. He's known, there's a reason, in my opinion, he's the best fighter, certainly in Britain today. Likely even the world. Put it this way, he's up there with Crawford and whatnot. In fact, to be honest, at 140, that's what I want to see. Now I want to see Crawford and JT, but that's for another day. Right now, bottom line is, yes, he's known as he can do it all, but there was way too much of the other stuff now. Way too much, way too defensive, way too dancing around. Typical Ben Davison style. Disengaging, running around. He's never been known as that kind of fighter. Normally, JT's looking to get stuck in. Again, what's the Prograis fight? Marches straight forward. Them two is banging away all night. If that had been the same fight tonight, Ramirez is, I believe, clearly, Prograis is much better than, that was really the that was really the Undisputed fight. Prograis versus Taylor was the Undisputed fight. Tonight was light work. Ramirez, even beforehand, I looked at him, he looked sloppy, and it's a fair play to him, but he's sloppy. That wasn't the Undisputed fight in my opinion. Prograis was the Undisputed fight. But if JT, had applied the same kind of aggressiveness as he did in the Prograis fight, because Ramirez can't scrap like Prograis can on the inside. JT would have cut through Ramirez. Instead, he spent the whole night on the back foot, really. Not whole night, but a lot of it, he was disengaging. He wasn't, in terms of ring generalship, in my opinion, the reason, the judges had it so close, because 112, 114 is really close. When you consider there's 2 10-8 rounds in there. If you take the 2 10-8 rounds out, Ramirez won. So on that basis, why was that? A large reason is Ramirez was coming forward all night. Josh Taylor's never been known as the guy who's backing up and the one who's dancing around. That there is Ben Davison 101. Just look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury dances around, nearly gets knocked out by Wilder. Changes team, knocks Wilder, sparks Wilder out, bullies him. Ben Davison is one of the worst trainers in history. I don't know what's going on. How is he getting these fighters? He's crap. Tonight should have been a devastating stoppage, and it would have been under Shane McGuigan. Instead, it was a mediocre win, to be fair. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Yes, I'm happy for him. Yes, he's achieved his life goal. Yes, he's done more than I ever will in my life. I'm calling a spade here. I'm talking about it from his own ability point of view. From JT's ability point of view, Ramirez should have been stopped. The last 3 rounds, he was backing off, and Ben was telling him, yeah, back off, and run around, and we've won the fight. So, yeah, you won the fight, but finish the guy. Where's that competitive... I don't know, man. For example, I've seen JT in there with O'Hara Davis. When he was in there with O'Hara Davis, yeah, I understand we're at a high level now, but come on. End of the day, yeah, Josh Taylor wanted to fill O'Hara Davis in. He wanted, you know what I mean? He wanted that. And we've all seen, in this build-up this week, we've all seen JT. He was ready to go. He wanted the KO. So I'm questioning now, if he wanted the KO, what was the last 3-4 rounds? Just dancing around. I don't get that. That's when you've put him down twice in 6 and 7. The last 5, that should have been stoppage.com. Instead, the last few rounds, you lost them all. Just by being, it's that weird defensive attitude. Okay, well, we're likely winning on points, so let's just defend the win. Me personally, I can't stand that attitude. I think if you're winning, if you're up, guess what? You know what I mean? If you push someone's issue and you push it in deeper, you don't, oh well, we're already winning, so let's just coast now. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a Debbie Downer, but I see the start of this already. I see where this is going. I see where JT's career is going under Ben Davison, and it ain't good. Before you know it, yeah. Anyway, listen. All I'm saying is, tonight that was an average performance at best from JT, and the scene was set perfectly. You got 2 knockdowns. He was begging to be touched some more, and to be honest, he had 2 knockdowns, and he wasn't even pushing it really. When you compare it to the Prograis fight. The Prograis fight was all pushing from the jump. Pure push. Tonight, he wasn't even pushing it and knocked the guy down twice. If he'd have come in there, if them last 5 rounds, he'd have applied himself, it'd have been stopped. Now, in terms of greatness, yes, you're undisputed champion. But I'm not going to lie to you. The field's pretty weak, truth be known. But then again, it was equally as weak when Crawford's there. The true test for me is the true undisputed fight for both men. I don't really believe Crawford or JT me personally, I don't really believe Crawford or JT are really undisputed champions at 140. I think they need each other to become true undisputed. For me, having 4 belts, that's not undisputed. Undisputed for me is when you beat someone who's also going to be a Hall of Famer. And at the moment, Josh Taylor and Crawford are Hall of Famers. So they need to fight each other. When you think about the 80s and whatnot, or the 90s, or the 70s, them guys who we think of as greats, the reason they're great is because they was in there with 2 or 2 or 3 or 4 greats. Yeah? Very few greats are known just by nicking 4 belts versus bums. Not that Ramirez or Prograis are bums, but they're not Hall of Famers, are they? Is my point. When you think of all-time greats, they get there because they beat other people in their class. At the moment, none of these dons are in JT's class, apart from Crawford. He needs that fight. That's what he should campaign for, in my opinion. Now, it's not a big money fight, but that's what you call a pure credibility fight. Who is really who in this decade, who in this era is the daddy of 140? That isn't known until JT versus Crawford happens. That's what must happen next, in my opinion. But anyway, listen, fair play to the kid. Obviously, achieved great things. I just want to see him push on now, if that makes sense. The only reason I feel a bit negative is the fact that this wasn't pushing on. This performance was a devolution, in my opinion. That man, Ramirez, should have been stopped. I don't care what no one says. Yeah? Josh Taylor was more than good enough to stop this man. But I can see Ben Davidson's beta attitude rubbing off on him already. Just getting him out of his... Josh Taylor, he was hyped up for this fight. If there was ever a time that Josh Taylor was going to stop someone, it was tonight. Instead, Ben Davidson, for the last quarter of the fight, just took his foot off the gas. Like, what is that? What kind of attitude is that? I'll tell you what, it's not. That's not a Hall of Fame attitude. That there is a typical Instagram trainer attitude, that is. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we're winning now, and let's just get the belts home, and this is going to look really good on my resume. Oh, I can't wait to take pictures with the belts. Yeah, don't risk it. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to take pictures on Instagram. Yeah. Just do whatever you can. Don't take no risk. Don't take no risk, and let's just make sure we can take loads of pictures with the belts. That's Ben's attitude. Ben's attitude ain't, you know what, we've trained for this, you're good enough, you want it, knock this guy, get this guy out of there, he's ready to go. No. Safety first, and, you know what I'm saying, trickle around. I don't know, I'm just not impressed. I'm not impressed. And I was worried this is what was going to happen under Ben Davidson. Josh Taylor, and this isn't about Josh, because you might know my opinion. I say the same to AJ. Josh Taylor and AJ, but Josh Taylor for this video. I know whatever's happened between you and Barry, it is what it is. Put it under the, you know what I'm saying? Draw a line. Yes, you don't have to do business with Barry. I'm not sure. Yeah? You don't have to do business with Barry. There's loads of fighters with Shane who aren't with Barry. Okoli's with Eddie. So the point is, take your ego, accept that things, you know what I mean, draw a line under the bridge and say, Ben, it's been great, but you're for Instagram. That's what needs to happen now. You have to let your ego go and admit that he should have been stopped tonight. Bottom line. Go back to Shane. Because when you was under Shane, and you're still only, 28 years old, when you was under Shane, a pure phenom. And you're still good now, but I'm saying I can see things going the other way right now. That's my opinion. Again, ultimately, obviously, hats off to you, Undisputed Champion. Really, it's a great accomplishment, but the way it was done was underwhelming for someone of your capability, in my opinion. And actually, before I go, let me give you a technical rundown. And like I said earlier, I never really rated Ramirez. Ramirez is like a sloppy slugger. He definitely isn't, and this is the reason I really don't rate him as a unified champion, because he doesn't have the standard, typical, historical unified champion skills. Very basic, straight up and down kind of guy, work rate kind of guy. Don't see anything in him, truth be known. Certainly not the class of JT, which makes it even more frustrating why this fight didn't get stopped. And looking at the key highlights within the fight, i.e. the two knockdowns, both of them just typical sloppy kind of fighter. On the inside, when JT caught him with an uppercut, he was falling asleep on the inside. Just took a rest. Now, when you compare it to the Prograis fight, Prograis and JT, very evenly matched as such. Both very dangerous on the inside, very skilled, very experienced on the inside. Which is a lost art, by the way, these days, in the last 20 years. In the last 20 years, inside fighting has disappeared. It's been lost to the ages. The Vladimir Klitschko era. Not that Ramirez is that way inclined, but Ramirez don't have the finesse on the inside, as you found out. Got clipped a few times. Doesn't have the cuteness. Which, all in all, when you've got someone with a prowess of Josh Taylor, it makes it even more frustrating that this fight went the distance with someone that sloppy. And when you see him just working, there was loads of opportunities to get some counter shots in there with sloppy Ramirez, but there wasn't that offensive. We didn't see the offensive aggressiveness or really, it wasn't the offensive volume tonight from Taylor. It was a lot of pot shotting. It wasn't the volume base, and with someone who has quite a few holes, in my opinion, and has quite a high work rate as Ramirez, there should have been plenty of opportunities to get the stoppage, or certainly put him down a few more times. Anyway, that's it. Fair play to JT. Great win. Well, a good win. It's a win. Undisputed win, it's never a bad thing, but I don't know. I don't feel as inspired as I was expecting to feel. I think that JT's got more in him, is what I'm saying.